Bryan Wakefield with Forward Focus Advisors and Pro Bookkeepers Networks. We are QuickBooks solution providers. And today I'm going to talk about Intuit Enterprise Suite and a readiness assessment that we have put together that you can see kind of where you're at in terms of making a move to a higher level inside the Intuit platform or staying where you're at. And just a little background on me. So I've been playing a lot in the ERP space over the last couple of years. I met John with Pro Bookkeepers Network March of this year, and I hadn't even heard of the Intuit Enterprise Suite at that point, and it had only come out in March, so it was only about 6 months behind. But when he introduced the idea to me that Intuit was going to move into the middle market, where kind of NetSuite and Intact play mostly, that was very interesting to me. I'll go back to the top here. The 19 to 22, so for about 3 years, I was in a Sage Intact value-added reseller and partner shop. I was not in the technical side. I was actually running the FP&A practice, but saw a lot of good, bad, and ugly implementations with Intact, and never saying anything bad about anybody else's product. Everybody has a fit for sure. And then I moved on to a multinational startup where we had we were US based, but we had operating companies in the UK and 2 Eastern European countries. And that really required a very certain solution. We did go ahead and do a full kind of sourcing on that. We looked at Intact, we looked at NetSuite, we looked at Dynamics 365. Ultimately, NetSuite won out. But the one thing I would say, in that situation, I probably could have done Intuit Enterprise Suite and gotten 2 more years out of the Intuit side, at least, before I had to go into a NetSuite. And by doing that, you're not just saving the money, you're saving the time, you're saving the disruption of the team. And that was a startup, so every dollar counts. Because I was fractional, my controller was fractional, and even the staff accountant was fractional too. So anyway, so that's a long way of saying, I've been playing in this ERP space with all the vendors for a couple of years now. So taking a look at Intuit Enterprise Suite, I'm very impressed with where we're at. So who is IES for? It's really mid-market and multi-entity companies in that 1 to 3 million and above range, or if you're a single entity company, over $3 million. And Intuit would say that they're obviously, if you're on QBO or QBO Advanced at this point, you're a candidate to move up. And then they've picked kind of some early stage verticals of construction and professional services. And as we move forward, you'll see why those were a definite target for the product. So multi-entity, this is if you're on a QBO Advanced or a QBO platform, and you've got multi-entities and multi-instances of QBO, the pain of do from accounts. You can't be in multiple companies at the same time, so you're back and forth and downloading spreadsheets and trying to track it everywhere here and there. But with the Intuit Enterprise Suite, what you're able to do, book the transaction once in either company and have it show up in the other company. So you're saving a lot of time just in doing the transaction. You don't have to go back and identify it later. And the work is done. There's no out of balance down the road in either company. Okay, so I skipped ahead a little bit, but the automatic piece is really because it's already done. It's not you're doing it at the transaction time versus a later date. Faster cash to quote. So we talked about professional services and construction. So that quote period is a period where a lot of people get stuck. They're having to move in and out of different platforms where IES is set up so you can do it right here in the platform. You can do your quote, you can send it out. There's a button for that initial acceptance and even the first payment. So that makes that cash to close very quick. Connecting the projects more accurately. So because QuickBooks is they have the time, they have the and the payroll piece, that's all able to be booked in immediately into the system versus doing timesheets and uploads down the road. And that's going to help make your end-to-end project management much better because it's all the data's there, and it's also reliable data because it's entered by the people as they're doing it, not down the road. And then we have the AI powered forecasting, which is the issue with that is when you're doing AI forecasting, the question is, okay, what am I forecasting? The data that I'm forecasting off, is it current and reliable? Because your people are entering their time as they go, that just makes that reliability cycle that much better. Okay, so one report for the consolidated entity versus having to pull, 3 different balance sheets, dump it into Excel, do the quick math, figure out the consolidations and the eliminations. Because you're booking all the transactions to make that happen as you go, it's really a push button. And when you first look at this slide, you think, all right, we've already talked about consolidation, but this is really consolidation of various software packages. So we're bringing in the marketing because now we have MailChimp involved. We have, obviously QuickBooks has had payroll for a very long time. Then you've got, time and expense layered into that. All of that got right into the GL package, everybody working in, not just your accountants putting entries in, but your field people putting in their time and their expenses, labor costs, material costs, everything going in to one platform. So your general ledger now becomes much more of a business management tool, and you're sort of building your data warehouse as you go versus having to build a separate data warehouse from a bunch of disparate tools. And like I said, when you see a dashboard like this, the first thing I question is, okay, this is great, but how old is the data? Is it good data? Is it old data? Is it wrong data? But the more I know that the data is coming in, on time and accurately from, transactions as they happen, then I'm able to trust my dashboards a lot more. And that all feeds into, delivering projects on time, high quality, most importantly, on budget and on profit, versus getting a surprise 2 months into the project that you are way overspent. And then, like I said, the AI. So the AI comes in. That's all about reliability of data. I don't want to run a forecast off of data I don't trust, and I really don't want to run a fast forecast off of data that I don't trust.